let's do the puzzles.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, Chris, how are you doing?
Good. I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. So, how many puzzles are we doing in?
Oh, we're gonna do two puzzles today. But before we get to that, let me say to everybody out there, welcome to Silverquicken. So Silverquicken is a secret school that's not like regular school, where technology is like magic and kids become superheroes.
Ooh.
So let's get into it. All right, first let's introduce ourselves. I'm Chris, co-founder of Silverquicken.
And I'm Ben, a fifth grader certified solver, and I've subscribed to the Quest Club, and it's really fun.
Fantastic. You've done a bunch of Silverquicken. You know what we're all about. And as a certified awesome Silverquicken solver, that's what we're doing here today is we're solving some puzzles. So this is a solver session for the Silverquicken Quest Club. What that is we send you a quest every month full of awesome puzzles right to your door. It's an escape room. It's an adventure story. And best of all, it's really fun and you're stretching your brain out. You don't even realize you're like growing your brain and becoming more of a solver. Today, we're gonna solve two puzzles that are part of or related to this quest, volume 2201 from January 2022, Locked in the Library. You ready, Ben?
Yep, I'm ready.
Oh yeah, you are. Now, before we dive in, let me say that if you like what you see here today, or you'd like to become part of the Silverquicken Quest Club, then go to silverquicken.com and sign up for our Quest Club courses. At the end of our solve today, we'll have more information about how you can become part of the Silverquicken family. Stick around and there will be a discount code. So Ben, what did you think of this quest, Locked in the Library?
I think it was really fun. It was a very good thing to do on like a rainy or cold day. To just like sit in front of the fire and do this.
Awesome.
Very fun.
Awesome. That's great. That's great to hear. How would you describe this quest? Like, what's the story?
The story is like, it's like a good story. It paints like a vivid picture in your mind. And it's also like interactive because you have to do the puzzles to get to the next part. Yeah, it's really fun.
That's awesome. Awesome. So what's the story about this time around?
It's about these four characters, I think it is, that are locked in a library and they can't get out and they have to try to get out.
Yeah. I mean, if you're locked in a library, you're not just going to say, well, I guess I'm here. I'm going to just eat some books and stuff. You know, you're going to try to get out. So these four kids are locked in the library at the Silverquicken school. There they are, Pri, Gwen, Connor, and Jojo. And it's kind of a magical library there at the Silverquicken school. So almost anything can happen. And like you said, they're trying to get out. And you know what? It's not just those four. You're in it too. I don't mean just you, Ben. I mean, like whoever, you are, you're part of the story too. So without further ado, let's get into the puzzles. So here are the puzzles. We're going to do a puzzle like number one from this Locked in the Library quest. It's not going to be the exact same one, but it's in the same style, same sort of thing. And then we're going to do the actual puzzle number two, which is pretty tough. This puzzle, it's a logic puzzle. It's super complicated. You ready?
Yeah.
Did you bring your B game, your C game, or some other kind of game?
I brought my A+ game.
The A+ game? That's even better. I was just hoping for the A game, but if you bring the A+ game, then these puzzles are going to get destroyed.
Never have low expectations.
No, I like to have low expectations and then fail to meet even those. I'm kidding. I want to have high expectations and then bust past them. Yeah, let's go. Let's go into this first puzzle. Puzzle like number one. Okay, you ready for this one?
Yep.
So it looks like this.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, the one like this.
And those are the instructions that were on puzzle number one.
Picked one letter, make a sentence, escape a feather.
A feather, like a chain is what that means. And that's sort of built into the story, but from each column, pick just one letter and make a sentence.
Okay, so right away, I noticed there's a Z and there aren't that many letters that start with Z. So I'm not sure, but I'm just gonna put something under that.
Okay, cool.
I think it's probably not that, so I'm just gonna do that.
All right.
And then the L could either be L or W. So let's see if it was L. Let's see. I'm just gonna put a little temporary circle around L to see if it is. It would be L E, L FLH. That I'm LE. Yeah,
There are
no.
words that begin LE, right? Like
Yeah.
LE,
Lemon.
lemon.
But there's no M
Leap.
in this column.
There's no M. How about leap?
Oh, yeah, there's a, but then there's no P here.
Yeah.
So it's
Lean. So it's looking, and there's LEI maybe, but I can't think of a word that begins that way.
yeah. So it's probably W. Oh yeah, because there's an H. WH. It could be like a question word.
Oh, like a WH word. But we is also a word, right? Like WE.
Oh yeah, true. So yeah, it's probably W.
And then one letter in that second column you can probably be pretty sure is not.
Yeah, F.
Yeah. Woof is, I mean, maybe your dog says that, but like when it's leaving out the vowels. So we or what?
We or w. If it was w, well, if it was we would have to start. We would have to start a new word. And then it could be.
Or it could be like weather, right?
Oh,
like,
wait.
Mm-hmm.
The H and then there's an A and then there's a T right here. Like
Bingo.
what?
Yeah. That's looking pretty good. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's WHA.
Yeah.
T.
So
and
we got a
then
good
it's
what going on, right? Mm-hmm.
okay.
Cool.
Yeah. And then it's probably at the start of a new word because we just finished a word. So I'm just going to draw a line with a highlighter here.
Okay. So we've got what, and then starting.
So let's start with Y. Y. YA, YR, YK.
Which one of those would it have to be?
A.
Yeah.
YA. K. YAN.
Yak. Yak's a word, right? Do you like yaks?
I've never seen one.
I've never seen one either. And what yak?
So if it was yak, then it would be yak.
What yak?
Wait, yak. Yak.
And then you'd have to start a new word if it's not yak or yaks. Okay. This doesn't feel great. Yak. What oak? OAK?
OAK. Yeah, it could be that. Oak.
What ore? ORE, like mining out of the ground. So there are a few possibilities. But I feel like it's probably not either yak or ore.
Yeah. It's probably not yak or.
And nice.
So then probably.
That's Silverquicken humor coming at you right there.
So then M. MA, MR, MK. MA.
Yeah, because MR, it would have to be like Mr.
And then there's a K right here. MAK. Oh yeah, and then there's an E. So that's make already.
Make.
It's probably the end of a word. 1 second.
What make?
Yeah. Probably the end of a word.
So what make?
So what make? Wait, no, because there's an S. What makes?
Ah, yeah. I think that sounds a little better. So what makes?
Yeah.
Now you could say what manes, like mane of a horse's, but that's makes is a verb, right? And that sort of like gets us going into the sentence. As opposed to yak or ORE or manes. We have to kind of go with more common words, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what makes?
So now this is probably going to be like a noun. So A. What makes A?
Mm-hmm.
What makes
a possibility?
So yeah, so might be that.
Might be that.
Q can't be Q.
It's not going to be the Q. And what's one thing that tells you it's almost certainly not the Q?
Because there's
What
no
makes
U. There's no
there's
U.
no U, right? In most English words with a Q, got to have the U.
Except for Q-tip.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that has like a hyphen or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or is it still
What makes
considered
Q-tips
one
so
word?
wonderful?
And then T. If it was T, it could be T Z. No. TH. THE. The. What makes the? Yeah, that works.
That looks pretty good. Now, it could be what makes but let's go with and see where it gets us to. Because we can always come back to. That's simpler.
Yeah.
Like the path doesn't work.
No. Erasers. Wait, no, not eraser. I need the highlighter.
The highlighter. Yeah. Okay. What makes the
D-O. Wait, okay. D-O-E-A. D-O-E. What makes the I-R-I-J-J-Z? No, I'm kidding. J-R-J-O-E. If there was a Y, that would spell Joey.
but we need a noun that could have a the in front of it. So there is the Joey.
Oh yeah. But it's probably not I.
Mm-hmm.
And then it might be D, but then it could be D-R or D-O.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably not J. So it's D. That looks like an O.
Oh, yeah. So what makes the D O R and kind of exploring?
Wait, I just realized I can do that.
Okay. Whichever one you like doing.
D-O-E. D-O-A. It could be Q because there's a U right there.
Mm-hmm. What makes the Dokwa?
Dokwa. So yeah.
Dokwa. And if it's D, it's definitely not going to be the Z. I'll cross that one out.
D-O. D-O. Could be door, but there's not that. What makes the door? What makes the?
So we've got good possibilities with D-O and D-R, right?
What makes the dura?
And then like R could go to E or A. O could go to E, but it's really like does. What makes the does? That kind of seems weird.
Yeah. D.
I'll erase that.
I'm really stumped.
D-O-E and D-O-A, I don't think it's O.
Yeah, no.
So it's D-R something.
Dra.
Drea,
Drea. Drew. Trees. Drea. Drew.
What was that?
Drea. Oh, dream. Oh yeah, because there's an M right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So I'm just gonna put actually a. Yeah, and then let's get our trusty this thing. Oh. Not so trusty anymore.
So what makes the dream?
What makes the dream? It's probably going to be the question mark because it's a what?
Nice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just going to put a star near that. So what makes the dream? So W, what makes the dream whirl?
Remember, one from each column.
Whoa. So it's I don't think it's W.
Okay.
Then T. What makes the dream wait, no.
Trying lots of good possibilities here. This is a puzzle you have not seen before. Just fresh into this, doing the solve live. We're almost there.
Shrek. No, I'm kidding.
What makes the dream trek? Which sort of works, and it turns out there is like even some other things up earlier that could be as alternates, but you're on the right track. It's not what makes the dream trek.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
What makes a dream A-L? Al? No. A-R? Al? A-O-R? Or?
Error.
Error?
So is it none of them?
What?
And no, we didn't have a puzzle for you that's impossible to solve. There is an answer.
Actually, it might be W.
That's the thing. When you run into a brick wall, back up off it and try to go around it.
Work. What makes the dream work?
Bingo.
Let's go.
What makes the dream work? Now it turns out that dress also works in here. What makes the dress work? But it's more what makes the dream work. And what does make the dream work?
Teamwork.
Teamwork. You got it, man.
Teamwork
Absolutely. That's what we did. Team is dream, as we say in Silverquicken. So awesome. What was the hard part of this one?
Figuring which letters went where, because there were so many combinations you could do.
Yeah. So how did you overcome that?
I just tested a bunch.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. You just got to start somewhere, and then you start testing them, and you aren't totally sure when you knock something out. Like you had to go back and unknock out that W, right?
Yeah.
But you just pull it back, and sometimes like, hey, that A we didn't have to go back and fix, So you don't try to test, like you have to follow your hunches at a certain point.
Yeah.
So what kind of thing would you take away, or lessons would you take away from that?
Maybe don't cross things out before you fully test them.
Yeah, I like your star thing, and maybe it's like the little X's that you started putting there, because then you can still read underneath it. If we scribble it out too much, like what are any of these over here? Like can't even see them anymore. So, but no big deal. If we had to, we can always erase and zoom, right? Always erase on paper. I love working with pencil for that very reason. So what makes the dream work? All right, let's move on to puzzle number 2, because puzzle number 2 is actually from the quest. Ooh. Let's do it. Now, puzzle number 2.
Yeah.
Now it says there's a sticker on Fos. Now that word here, by the way, for those of you coming new, Fos is a lamp. It's the name of the librarian Wallister is a pet lamp named Fos. And it says use only a 60-watt bulb.
How do we figure out from 60? There are some rules and clues here.
Yeah. So let's before we jump into the rules, there are a couple things I wanted to say about this puzzle. So puzzle number 2, there's a sticker on Fos, the pet lamp of the librarian, use only a 60-watt bulb. And there's all this information. We can see there's like a graph. There's like information listed all over this thing, right? Up and down here. So, I want to, before we dive too far into this, and what we got to do is figure out which is the 60-watt light bulb out of all this information. First of all, this is a logic puzzle, Ben. Have you done many logic puzzles like this before?
I don't think so. No.
No. maybe
We may have done one or two.
one or two, but you know what? This one's pretty complicated. It's like several different dimensions of shape and gas and wattage and 4 different like possibilities in each of those. This is a logic puzzle, the likes of which you would see on the LSAT, which is for law school. It's a law school admissions test. People take that in college or even after college to try to get into law school. This is like way beyond the SAT or the ACT or anything like that. So basically saying, Ben, you're stretching your brain doing this thing. This is like total varsity ball. This is like pro. Yeah, you're stretching it all the way out. Like it's coming out the ears. The second thing is when you have all those facts that are over here, there's some information up front that kind of gets you straight. But then when you get into the rules, what I want you to do is you're trying to figure out like what has to be the 60-watt light bulb. And you're given some information and rules up front. What I want you to do is take each rule, each fact, one at a time. It's given to you. Take it one at a time. And then I want you to ask, how can I build on this? How can I build on this rule? And there are 2 questions for you to build on that rule. One is to ask, okay, if this is true, what else must be true? And I want you to ask, if this is true, what else must not be true? What can't be true? And I'll help guide you as you do that. But if you remember those, okay, you take a fact, you're going to ask yourself, what else must be true? What else must not be true? Got it?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go. Let's roll it.
Okay, so let's see. There is one bulb in each of the following shapes: traditional, candle, spot, and globe. There is one bulb of each wattage, 60, 75, 100, and 150. There's one bulb with each of the following internal gases inside the glass: argon, nitrogen, krypton, and hydrogen.
You know, you're breathing some argon right now. Did you know that? It's actually in air. It's an inert gas, and krypton's in another inert gas. You're breathing in the argon. It's not doing anything to you. Nothing bad, nothing good. It's inert. It doesn't do anything. Same thing with krypton. There's a lot of nitrogen in the air too. It's actually mostly nitrogen. And then hydrogen, we aren't breathing that. I wouldn't want to have a hydrogen bulb because it could blow up. But let's zoom in just a little bit on this so we can see it like up close and personal. All right, let's get into the rules.
The traditional shaped bulb has a higher wattage than the combined wattage of the candle and the spot.
Okay.
So let's see. Wait.
So we got.
And the traditional must be 150 because it's impossible for those 2 to add up and wait.
So let's look at the numbers they actually give us, right? 60, 75, 100, and 150.
So yeah, I'm gonna, because we know it can't be those, so then let's put a.
Yeah. So what I like what you're doing is you're saying, okay, what else would have to be true? The traditional shaped bulb would have to be the highest number then in this list, because if it were the 100, the 60 and the 75 would already be higher together than that. So yeah, what I also like what you're doing is you're saying, okay, if traditional is 150, the other ones aren't 150. And if traditional is 150, traditional is not any of the other wattages. So every time you get a check, you get to knock out 3 in the same row and 3 in the same column. That's like what else must not be true.
Yeah.
And it helps narrow you down. Awesome.
What
else? Yeah. Before we go on to rule number 2, there's something else about the candle and the spot. Could the candle, this is a way to do it. It's like ask yourself.
Oh yeah, the candle either has the 60 or 75.
Yeah. Could it be the 100?
So I'll put a question mark in.
Could it be the 100? So you can put question marks in, but actually that might, okay, we can leave that. But what do you know about, could the candle or the spot be the 100?
No.
Why not?
Because there is nothing that, if you add anything to the 100 here, it's more than 150.
Bingo. So go ahead and put in X's for that. And now what else must be true?
That the globe is the 100.
Bingo. Look how much you've narrowed down just out of rule number 1.
Wow. I thought we were done with rule number 1 right when I did that.
Right. But by figuring out what else could be, like try out some other possibilities and see if you could make it work or not. You can get this part right here. you could figure out the candle on the spot can't be 100. So that gives you, it's got to be the globe by process of elimination.
Yeah.
Cool. And so you're left with just, now those are the magic ones. Right now, if you had to guess, you're going to guess candle or spot, right?
Yeah.
You've already knocked out half the possibilities.
Yeah.
To get to your 60-watt bulb with just
if I figure that out, I just figured the entire puzzle out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But I bet it's going to take us some more work. So let's keep rolling.
So let's see.
I'll put a check mark by this one.
The bulb that uses argon has a higher wattage than either the bulb that uses krypton or the bulb that uses hydrogen. So that means the one that uses krypton and uses hydrogen can't be a 150.
Why not?
Because there's nothing higher than 150.
Yeah. So this is another one of like what can't be true.
Hydrogen.
So if you know a relationship like argon's higher than krypton or higher than hydrogen, then you know krypton and hydrogen can't be the very highest. What do you know about argon then?
Then argon can't be those.
Why not? You're right, but why not?
Or I don't think it can also. Oh yeah, technically it could be that. But because like it's higher than either of those, well then it can't be 60. No, because it has to be higher 60. Than 2.
It has to be higher than 2 other bulbs, right? So that rules out the smallest 2. Awesome. Rules out the smallest 2. So keep rolling. So that is a lot of info. And when you finally get to a solution, you want to check against all your rules.
So let's see, either the candle shaped or the spot shape uses hydrogen, or is that nitrogen? Nitrogen. So then nitrogen is either that or that. And then we know the rest of them can't be nitrogen.
Yeah. So good X is there. Yep. It's one of those 2. And I think that's pretty much what we can get out of that one.
Yeah. Rule 4, either the traditional shape or the globe shape uses hydrogen. So that means those can't use hydrogen. So let's
the candle on the spot can't use hydrogen, and it could be.
Wait, and then right here, right over here, it says that hydrogen is lower than argon. So then, wait, what does that tell us?
Let's hold on that. Let's first, maybe what I would do is throw a little box around this one. It's kind of like your question marks and say, okay, it's one of those. Oh, so let's keep going. Traditional has got to be it. So it's one of those 2. Keep going with this thinking. So you wanted to go back to rule number 2 and start piecing rules together. That's great. So what if the traditional were hydrogen?
If the traditional were hydrogen, then the traditional.
So if this were a check mark.
Okay, yeah. So I think we're like completely done with rule 1. Like I think there's nothing else we can get from it.
Ooh, okay. Let me erase a couple things then.
Because like
okay, so we're completely done with rule 1. And that got us all the way to traditional is 150. Now, there's one other thing we can figure out right now using, not even going to, and we've done rule number 4 too. I'll put a little check mark by that one. We haven't gotten to rule number 5, but there is something you were getting onto, which is about the hydrogen being either traditional or globe.
So let's say it was traditional. So let's like put a star there.
Okay.
Star.
So for a little test. So then traditional would be hydrogen, traditional would be 150, and hydrogen would be 150. Is that possible?
Where?
So if we put a star there and we're pretending that's a check mark for right now,
Yeah.
that's just a temporary check mark. We're saying traditional is hydrogen. We also know that traditional is 150. If you have two checks on something, then you know the third check. That would say hydrogen is 150 because you'd be saying traditional, hydrogen, and 150 are all the same.
Wait, so then it can't be that. So then it must be globe.
Right. So what that was is like, let's pretend something's true and we follow the logic and we get to, wait, it can't be true. So that tells you all the way at the beginning, we shouldn't have taken that path. That's like the path down the forest that led to a hole in the ground or something. So
can I do that?
Yeah, you absolutely can. I'll erase some things. So now we know.
So now like everything from here, that way is all filled out except for those.
Now, let's see. Now, we shouldn't put in all, let's see.
Oh, wait, no. I didn't mean to put that there. I thought that was something else.
So if we know that, we do know something here. We know that, let's go back to this guy. We know that globe is 100, right?
Yes.
Figured that out. And you just figured out that globe is hydrogen. So that tells you that hydrogen is 100. If you have two checks, you know where the third check goes. It goes right here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you're saying globe, hydrogen, and 100 all match up.
Wait, and then it says the bulb that uses argon has a higher.
Oh, let's
wait. The only thing higher than that is the traditional. So then the traditional must use argon.
Ooh. Can I back you up? Because I just want to make sure that this part is clear for you. That from these two, from this guy, globe being 100 and hydrogen being globe, you know hydrogen is 100. And once you get a check, you can fill in the rest of the row in the column. Go ahead and do that. Yeah. And now, how did you get to the traditional is definitely argon? I want to go back to your thinking.
Because it says it's because it says argon has a higher wattage than either the bulb that uses krypton or the bulb that uses hydrogen. And we know that hydrogen is 100, and the only thing bigger than 100 is 150.
Yeah, that's right. So exactly, you were doing this thinking across, and then that's got to be a check mark here.
So wait, should we finally take a look at the fifth rule?
Finally, I think we can. Because I think that we have everything else, and then the fifth rule is going to help us get it out.
So the bulb that uses krypton has a higher wattage than the candle-shaped bulb. So that means that it can't be that. So then krypton. Wait, so then we know that krypton can't be candle because it has a higher wattage than candle.
Yeah, that's right.
We're getting so close. I can feel it.
Yeah. Once you get 3 X's, then you know what to put in the, like these guys right here. You have those 3
so then it must be spot that uses nitrogen.
Spot uses, no, spot uses krypton, right?
Oh, yeah. That's what I meant. And then, we know spot doesn't use nitrogen. Then we know that candle does use nitrogen. And then with that, is there any rule?
How do we get these figured out?
Let's see, either the candle shaped or the, okay, so we know everything in rule 3 that there is to know.
That's one way to take it out.
The bulb that uses argon has a higher wattage than the, okay, so we know this one also. Wait.
So let's so go back to rule number 5. What do you know about the bulb that uses krypton?
The bulb that uses krypton has a higher wattage than the candle. Wait, then the bulb that,
yeah,
then it can't be 60 because it has a higher wattage.
Yep.
Oh, wait, I think we just figured it out.
I think we did.
So then candle uses 60. Let's go. We just figured it out.
Yep. So which one are we gonna? Yeah, X's all over. We used all the information and we finally solved
Okay.
that. The candle is the one we want to use.
Yep.
That's fantastic. There's a lot of thinking going on there. What were the hard parts of this one? I mean, I feel like there were several. These
Yeah. Like figuring out the things of the logic puzzle, like figuring out the flip sides to
the flip sides. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna call it.
Yeah. So the flip side is like, if this is true,
and this
like
must not be true.
This must not be true. Right. Like, and sometimes that's pretty like subtle. It's pretty like hidden. Like the bulb that uses krypton has a higher wattage than the candle shaped bulb, tells you that krypton's not candle.
Yeah.
Because they're not the same. They're different. So that's pretty subtle. You could wind up putting an X, and that's what you did. You wound up putting an X there.
Mm-hmm.
Very nicely done. And then there was also so like, what else must be true? What else must not be true? The flip side thing. There was the thing we did here with the hydrogen, where we had these two, you put the star there. Remember that?
Yeah.
And what was that all about? Like, take us back through that.
Like, so it might be that, and then we put the star there as like a temporary check, but then when we figured out that it wasn't that, we put an X there.
Yeah, that's right. So by putting the star there, that then let us sort of go down that path, but kind of like be ready to go back. And what we figured out was like, oh, wait a second, we already had an X down here because hydrogen couldn't be the highest one from rule number 2. So that told us, well, then that's got to be an X. That led to this check mark, led to a bunch of other things. So really nicely done, man. I love that. So congratulations on solving this. There are not many other kids your age who are doing problems like that are for law school admission, just to say. So unless you're in Silverquicken, and then you're doing them. Silverquicken is all about tackling these kinds of challenges, stretching and working out our brains as we explore the Silverquicken world. Go to our website as you see it there, and you can check out our Quest Club and courses that I mentioned. We even do birthday parties, live camps, things like that. And if you use the LiveSolve15 discount code, you can apply it to any opportunity we have on our site. You like discount codes? We all do.
Who doesn't like discount codes?
Who doesn't like discount codes? So that's all the time we've got. We'll do this again in a few weeks. Join our mailing list. It's at the footer of our website. If you want to get notified when we post the next one, which will be about the February quest, the Forest Chase. Until then, I'm Chris.
And I'm Ben.
And we want you to
keep on solving. See you next time.